Dentistry, I've always known it to be a profession that embraces both genders. Okay, we don't discriminate in dentistry when it comes to whether you're a male or a female. Everybody is comfortable and accommodated in dentistry. Indeed, sometimes you find more females in dentistry than males, and then sometimes it even is out and all of that. Um, but basically, I think the future is quite bright. It's bright in the sense that we have females going into aspects of dentistry which we used to think, oh, that was mainly dominated by men. So you have maxillofacial surgeons who are females, unlike in the past where almost all the maxillofacial uh, surgeons were males, but now you have females taking up that specialty. So, of course, inclusion um, for everyone, and of course, we want to make sure that everybody is treated right. Nobody is treated, especially because of their gender, or discriminated against because of their gender. So, yes, the future of dentistry is definitely bright, with women embracing the different specialties in dentistry and being encouraged to do that.
I think the future is quite bright. In dentistry, right now we have more females than males in dentistry. As a result of some past events that allowed for brain drain, and most of the men left. But now, and then so you had mostly the female gender coming in, and every class has more female than male. So for us in dentistry, there is nothing like gender inequality as such. The girl child has the same opportunities as the male child in coming into dentistry. When they come in, they have the same opportunities. So there is no gender inequality. But at a higher level, the female child should be, or the women should be encouraged to coming into things like academia and so on and so forth.
The future of dentistry regarding gender, not equality, equity, I prefer the word equity, and inclusion. I feel that all of us have something to bring to the table in terms of what our natures are. Women are nurturers. I think dentistry is increasingly becoming more of the field of a female. I find that females who want to be wives and mothers probably want to do less calls, which is what will happen in dentistry. They are less likely to be called out in the middle of the night compared to somebody doing medicine. But as for gender equity and inclusion, I think we're already there for dentistry. I think if there's anything we need to strive a little bit harder towards, it's getting to the very top echelons of power in terms of where we can actually make great differences. But we're almost there as well, so we thank God.
Well, this institution, I think, has been, particularly the Faculty of Dental Sciences, there are more females than males anyway, so we are already in that mood. And presently we have a female dean, and the last two deans have been, or last 2 or 3 deans have been females. We've had quite a number of females going into leadership. However, we haven't had a female dental surgeon as provost of the university or vice chancellor. So there's still room for migration to that level. Of course, it doesn't come on a platter of gold. One has to work hard at it. In academia, your research has to be very visible and, of course, contribute majorly to knowledge, not just locally, but also within the continent as well as globally, to be able to move to that level of leadership, i.e., provostship and vice chancellorship. The young and up and coming ones, I try and encourage our young undergraduates to not just, at least the ones that are bright and are able to sustain themselves within the dental discipline, that those who can veer off into the politics, like ULADS, like yourselves, who are presenting, you PR and you Madam President of ULADS. It's a good way to also, that's a good way of also climbing the ladder on the non-clinical aspect. In any case, some of us will need to be in the House, whether it is at State House of Assembly or the Senate, the National Assembly, at House of Representatives, and the Senate. It's only doctors that we have seen migrate to that level. We also want to see more dentists also get into that level.
The future of dentistry with regards to gender equality and inclusion, I would say that the future is already here. Because if you look at the dental industry today, you would have to agree with me that the females in the industry are definitely pulling their weight. With regards to academia, if you come to the teaching hospitals, with regards to training, research, and even the private sector, you would have to agree that the women in the industry are not doing badly at all. So for the females, for the young dental students, I will tell you that your path is clear and there are no gender discriminations. I would encourage the younger ones that the future is very bright and your path is clear. So just go ahead and excel.
I choose a balancing act, really, trying to balance professional life with other aspects of life. But you have to make that balance. Okay? So as much as possible, I try and keep office work away from home as much as I can. But of course, being a lecturer, that may not be totally possible. Sometimes I have to take work home and read scripts and all of that. But as much as possible, I try to make that distinction when it's office hours, I do my work in office hours, and when it's time to move on with other aspects of life. And I also spend a lot of time Christian activities online as well as physically. Okay. Well, of course, since the world moved on to doing things, a lot of things online, so now it's a lot easier to be able to achieve a lot of things. Okay, and be able to juggle the demands of professional life and social life, because you can join a number of things online, so you don't need to travel physically to do other people's physically. So that in a nutshell.
I can tell you that it's not so simplistic, but you can make it easy. But basically, what you need to do is like you need extra time. For a female in dentistry, it sort of gives you time to manage your family and manage your profession as well. Because you can take your time to do your job. You do your job while the children are still in school, if you have young children, and it's not really disturbing like that. because then let's look at it from another aspect. If your career is in research, it may be a bit more difficult because you need more time to do your work. So you need to really put in that extra effort. And in life, everything has to do with how much effort you put into whatever you're doing. So the balancing depends on individual. A lot of people, women these days, have been able to balance their marriages and their childbearing, as well as child rearing, with their profession.
It's basically a work-life balance or a work-life integration. And it's simply about portioning the necessary time to the necessary areas of interest. One has been raising children, you have wifely duties, and you also have to be a professional. As an academician, it means I have to do research as well. So it's about getting your priorities in order. What is important at any time too. For me, family always comes first. My professional development has been very important, and I have done my best to make sure that I continue to go through the rungs and improve myself. So I go for courses, I do research, I read journals, and I have also learned very reluctantly to delegate. So what I can't do by myself, I will have to delegate people to do. It's always good to have a support system around you, whether it's somebody helping you with your children or somebody helping you get notes for any research you want to do or helping you with your research activities. I think it's all very important, and that is how one gets around that balance that's required. Very important.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. Regarding balancing my profession and other aspects, well, I try and organize my time. More so now that I'm HOD, I'm also lecturing, I'm doing research, I'm also working in the clinics. Luckily, those times are already planned. Outside that area, those main areas, I'm also faculty chairman for the conference and seminars, as well as the 60th anniversary. So it takes a lot of dedication and commitment to manage those demands. But I try and keep to those schedules as much as possible. Where I can't take some lectures, luckily we have a new lecturer, I delegate the lectures to our junior faculty. Likewise, in the clinics with students can take up some procedures, simpler procedures. So delegation is a way of managing such demands. Administratively too, my team in the departmental office, the executive officer, who is the head of the non-academic staff, I try and make sure he takes up quite a role, and that also grooms him for leadership in administratively. Regarding the other areas with my home, also, luckily I have an understanding husband who permits me, when I'm at work, I try as much as possible not to be distracted with calls, and I try and pay attention to what I need to do. The only time I will take calls is if I feel there's an urgency, such as the call is persistent, then I believe that, this person needs to speak to me. So as much as possible during office hours, I try and minimize my calls. Social media, I avoid social media till the end of the day, when I go up to look at social media, WhatsApp messages, etc. Okay, so next question.
Talking about how I balance the demands of my professional career and other aspects of my life, I would say that as a woman, you have to agree and understand that there are different facets or aspects to your life. And to say that you're actually successful, you have to succeed in all different aspects, career-wise, family-wise, social-wise, and every other aspect of your life. So understanding these peculiarities, you have to be self-driven, motivated, with a passion to succeed. That simply means that for you to excel and balance out everything, you must plan. Proper planning, prioritizing, proper time management, discipline, and accountability.
Yes, as a lecturer, a teacher, and a mentor, I see myself mentoring the younger ones to go for that aspect of dentistry that they are comfortable and happy to be in. So if you feel that you do very well in restorative dentistry, why not pursue the career in restorative dentistry, and you'll be given all the encouragement. If you feel that you're better suited in oral surgery, oral maxillofacial surgery, oral pathology, or wherever that you feel, then definitely I would encourage anyone who wants to go into any of these areas to do that. And of course, my bit will be to not just encourage them, but where I can, I try and run like revision programs, which I used to do a lot for even my peers when I was in training. We would have discussion groups. We would try and bring each other up to the level where everybody's comfortable answering questions, tackling problems, and all of that. And even right now, I also want to encourage my residents, reach out if you would like me to run revisions, you want me to run trainings, then why not? So as much as possible, I try to encourage the younger ones to reach out to seniors, look for people who can mentor you in the particular area that you have interest in. Okay, and I'm sure the senior ones will be very, very pleased to do that. So yes, mentor is what I want to see myself being to both male and female in the profession, but especially because we want to encourage women to do well. So mentoring the young females. Yeah.
For the female child, or for the women, the sky is always, well, these days they say the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. We've had a dentist that became head of service in this country, head of service at the federal level. We've had those who became chairman medical advisory boards of teaching hospitals. We've had those who have become chief medical directors. So your gender does not stop you. The fact that you're a woman or you're a female should not stop you from being who you want to be. It all depends on you, and it's all left to you to work. There are places where the environment, the culture pulls down the child. But for dentistry, if you have been allowed to go and study dentistry in the first place, it means you have quite a bit of freedom. It's only in cultures where somebody may come and say, no, I don't want the woman to treat me. But for me, if he has toothache, it will allow anybody to treat at any point in time. So I encourage the women who are aspiring to, get to the top of their career to go for it. Work hard, put in all that you need to put, be honest with yourself, and carry your spouse along. You will get there and you will succeed. Right now, although she's not a dentist, but she's a medical doctor, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, she's a female and she's a doctor, and she's up there. So nothing should stop us from being who we want to be. So you can be what you want to be, and you can reach the greatest of heights. You put in your effort. You cannot sit down and wait for people to come and take you there. But if you work, you'll get there.
How do I inspire younger women aspiring to be dentists or aspiring to be great in dentistry? You continue to encourage them. You continue to inspire them. So, pretty much the same thing. They ask you questions, you give them answers. If there are opportunities that you cannot take on, that you feel might be good for them, then I think that is something that you should encourage them to go for. And also, don't just encourage them to be as good as you, or to have ambitions as great as your own, but inspire them to go and encourage them to go further. So if you have females that you feel have the talent, have leadership talents, then encourage them to do leadership training courses, encourage them to go for management courses, and those are the kind of things that will take them to the heights of the policymakers. When you get to the heights of the policymakers, then you can really make a difference. So that's it. My advice to anybody that wants to go to greater heights is go for it. You can do it. Don't give up. It's not going to be an easy road, but you can do it if you don't give up.
Again, I would say, first of all, your primary aim here when you come to the dental school is ensure you at least pass your exams and fulfill your professional requirements. Thereafter, you now begin to make time for the politics of health, not just dentistry. Dentistry first, but health generally. How can we incorporate health into, because the way now to look at health is not just from a health perspective. You need to also look at it from a broad perspective. Either even from common housing. A lot of people live in houses that don't have sinks. So how would they know that they are bleeding when they brush? So dentistry may come in to say that, look, as a must, there must be a sink in a building. So that when people brush, they will be able to see that they are presenting with the earliest sign of gum disease, which may be a reflection of something even wrong with health. So health should be looked at multi-dimensionally, and as such, we shouldn't just be restricting ourselves to just within the clinic, but also outside as well. Even public health, you can go out to educate your coded visits, and of course, those who are in community dentistry, when they go out on postings to the rural areas, they should be able to bring people on board and link it to maybe general medical conditions. Like Professor Putali now, they are doing it in relation to maternal and child health, for which Lagos State has a lot of hospitals. So they've brought in those true workers to be able to pass on that information to include oral health, and then the prevention of oral diseases. So for me, that's the way to go. And the mindset has to change from just looking inwards, but having a tunnel vision. We should be having a tunnel vision.
My advice would be that if you apply the principle of the 3 Bs, you will definitely excel. And the 3 Bs will be believe, behave, and then become. So you first of all need to believe that as a woman, you can get to the peak of your career. You can excel, okay? And that also means you need to have a vision and a roadmap as to where you're going. And once that has been settled, then you move to the second B, which is behave, okay? You need to put in the work. Hard work cannot be overemphasized. So if you put in the hard work, which will come both clinically and empowering yourself with knowledge, then you just see yourself invariably at the top. And you just find out that by applying the 3 principles, then you just become the big player or a force to reckon with in the dental industry.
Well, in keeping abreast with the current trends in the profession and for inclusivity or inclusiveness, I attend conferences, national conferences, both nationally and internationally. I also attend workshops when they come up by different dental bodies and even dental companies when they have workshops, okay? And of course, reading journals and reading current textbooks is also important for keeping abreast with the trends in the profession, with what is going on. So, in a nutshell, that is one way, or those are the several ways that I stay abreast of what's going on in the profession. Okay.
To stay informed, you have to continuously update yourself. You have to continuously update yourself. Look for information. Attend courses, both locally and internationally. Go online and learn new things. Go for conferences, workshops, and so on. And then you will know what is happening, and follow technological advancements in dentistry, follow research advancements in dentistry, and then, learn new things that will help you in your practice.
Well, ensuring that I keep my knowledge current is pretty much the same as what I have been talking about. It's about making sure that you stay informed in your particular area, going for conferences, reading journals, updating yourself, attending workshops and webinars, and making sure that I put them into practice, which means actually utilizing the skills that have been given. Something new comes out, you have a patient with that problem, nothing stops you from trying to use that particular technique on that patient. And that way, if it works for you, then you can build up your skills gradually by continuing to use it on different patients.
Simply by reading widely. I attend conferences, whether it's local or international conferences. For instance, we just had the Periodontologists Association of Nigeria conference, which brought up new topics about nutrition and periodontal disease management. Also, they had a guest lecturer who told us a little bit about what's new in my specialties, like the new classification of periodontal diseases and new methods of treatment. So it's important that one reads widely and network too as well. Network through such associations. Internationally, I'm always on the European Federation of Periodontology website to try and keep abreast. Before any lecture I take, I will go out to look for anything new so that I'm not giving my students old issues.
Research is a big one for me because if you don't research, you will never discover. And then finally, I'm always willing to explore new frontiers. When something is new, I'm willing to go ahead and try it out. And also, I'm willing to always practice. So, dentistry is a clinical course. You must be willing to practice. So it's all about learning, and then practice. Tell me, was it worth it? My heavy heart is broken.
Yes, as a lecturer, a teacher, and a mentor, I see myself mentoring the younger ones to go for that aspect of dentistry that they are comfortable and happy to be in. And so if you feel that you do very well in restorative dentistry, why not pursue the career in restorative dentistry, and you'll be given all the encouragement. If you feel that you're better suited in oral surgery, oral maxillofacial surgery, oral pathology, or wherever that you feel, then definitely I would encourage anyone who wants to go into any of these areas to do that. And of course, my bit will be to not just encourage them, but where I can, I try and run like revision programs, which I used to do a lot for even my peers when I was in training. We would have discussion groups. We would try and bring each other up to the level where everybody's comfortable answering questions, tackling problems, and all of that. And even right now, I also want to encourage my residents, reach out if you would like me to run provisions, you want me to run trainings, then why not? So as much as possible, I try to encourage the younger ones to reach out to seniors, look for people who can mentor you in the particular area that you have interest in, okay? And I'm sure the senior ones will be very, very pleased to do that. So yes, a mentor is what I want to see myself being to both male and female in the profession, but especially because we want to encourage women to do well, so mentoring the young females. Yeah.
For me, I have been mentoring the younger ones. I try to mentor them when they come to me, and sometimes, I go out of my way to talk to younger ones to encourage them to, go and do what they need to do. I went into postgraduate immediately after my NYSC, and one has moved to this level, through hard work. With hard work, perseverance, we have, been able to rise to where we are today.
Okay, so what role do I find myself in advancing the goals within my profession? I think I'm already doing it. By being an academician, you interact with students, people that are growing up, coming into your field. Encourage them to go into the field. Teach them. Inspire them to do better. I remember having a student many years ago who was told that no, you can't do the orthodontics, you can't stick with it. And they said, Dr. Da Costa has done it and she's done it for many years, and I don't see any reason why I can't do exactly the same. So mentoring people and also being a role model to others is how you encourage others to come into the profession and stick with the profession. I still have the honor of teaching students that finished and qualified as orthodontists as much as 10 to 15 years ago. We still have conversations, we still go through patient treatment plans, and I feel that in order to make a difference in what you're doing, you have to make sure that you stay current and you make sure that you continue to mentor those coming behind you and encouraging them in what they want to do, in their future ambitions.
Well, first and foremost, I try and talk to students, residents. Once I see any resident who is showing interest in an interest in leadership, particularly maybe the Association of Resident Doctors, I encourage them to try and go for it, and and encourage their colleagues to support, to give support. Only last week I saw one of our ex-students who is a West Africa Colgate head, and I encouraged her. I said, look, why don't you go in for Africa? Let me introduce you to somebody who is from International America Colgate. And I established that contact with Professor Butali, who is very close to the leadership of Colgate America. And from there, he was ready to take her on board. And she was also ready to, it was encouraged by the response of that. So the idea is to network and give people the opportunity where it's available. And most of she being a woman, I felt that, look, it would be nice, even after her work with Colgate, move into regulation. There's no dentist in NAFDAC. It's about time we still start having dentists in NAFDAC, and that's the way to also grow the profession. Oral health products, we dentists should be seen to be participating in what is brought in, and also encouragement from locally made produced toothpaste or mouth rinses. So for me, that's the way to go. Hopefully we'll be seeing a kola nut based mouth rinse, which is a commonly ingested product amongst Nigerians, and it's known to have anti-inflammatory and anti-infective properties. So possibly one day we may have a kola nut based mouth rinse.
So the role I intend to play in advancing these goals in the profession, I would say that it's something I have a passion for already. I'm doing it already on a small scale, but it's something I definitely want to do on a bigger scale. And it would include coaching of the younger dentists, female dentists, training to make sure they excel or they're the best within the profession, and definitely mentorship. So coaching, training, and mentorship. So it's something I'm already doing, and I'll definitely continue to do.